Do you guys like commons?
I hope so.
Because today we're discussing Pauper. But before we get into discussing what Pauper is and what it is not, we got to remind you guys about a thing that's coming up.
The first official Dunk Unconstructed tournament.
That one. It's Sunday, February 11th at House of Cards. $15 entry fee with a box of Unstable on the line.
2 boxes to top 8.
2 boxes within top 8. That's 72 Unstable lands on the line for you, the Steam viewer. And also don't forget, we're going to be streaming the whole thing with the help of our friend BakaProjects. His information's still down below.
Mm-hmm.
So come out, play some Magic, come say hi to us. We'll be signing our brand new book, Pooping and Reasons Why You Should Do It.
The first ever invisible book.
$49.99 on our website, also invisible.
Yes.
Now to a poor man's format. So you're trolling the Facebook forums, looking for sweet ladies, and you see a bunch of people posting stuff about some Pauper format, and you're like, what is?
It is all commons.
It's only commons. It's actually a thing that's on Magic Online, so they have an entire listing of what is common and what is not over on...
I think it's this way.
Okay, that way worth of references.
But yes, Facebook and the Wizards official site and some other places.
So you can Google it, but it's only commons from Magic Online. As of now, there is no paper list of official whatever.
There's no official list, but some people play it different ways, but that's wholly...
That's up for you and your play group to decide.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss which way is best. We're here to tell you what is what.
And what is what.
And who is what. Why do?
Well, commons are normally cheap, and you normally have a bunch of them after drafting.
Yep. If you collect your draft chaff, or you just have a whole bunch of stuff and you don't know what to do with it, you can play Pauper. Since it's commons and only commons, there's lots of super fun decks and also lots of weird archetypes.
And if you're just reminiscent of some old block and some old thing, you could probably build a deck around it.
If you like the mono black devotion of Theros standard days, you can play a Gary deck.
Or you can play rats from Kamigawa or whatnot.
Yeah. There's lots of weird block mechanics, or otherwise you can just play good old modern-ish archetypes.
Ye good old Infect.
You get Affinity, you get Burn, you get Delver.
You get Tron of some variety.
I'm sure you do. You even get Mill.
Yes.
If you are that person. Also, you can play Pauper if you're not super format-driven.
Right.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, I like playing, but not super a lot, you can play Pauper with your friends. That's fine.
Right. It's not a solved format by any means. There's new commons every set, so it's kind of on the edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all the fun of an Eternal format, except for you get to just not break bank.
Right.
Except for, like, in some mono black decks, that there's, like, that's, what's it called?
Obelete or Obelet?
Owlet? I don't know.
Yep.
It's this black card that's popping up on my face right now. So sometimes commons are expensive and you just accept that. But overall...
Right. Overall, it's pretty cheap, but there are certain old cards that, despite their rarity, are cost a pretty penny.
I also get to run Chainer's Edict.
That's always a fun card to run.
Yep, you get to run Chainer's Edict and Dark Ritual.
And Cabal Ritual. And the Black High Tide. And then other colors get cool stuff too. Red gets straight up Lightning Bolt. Blue gets Counterspell.
And Daze.
And Brainstorm. Lots of goodies no matter where you look.
You would get Treasure Cruise in paper if that was a thing, I think, but I'm not sure.
Right. I believe it's banned in MTGO Online.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
It's not on Moto.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
I think it is banned on the Moto list, but I'm not positive.
This is why it's not a real format as of yet, is because a lot of people can't decide on exactly where the lists come from.
Right.
I personally don't play, so I'm just bringing the facts of things.
Right.
And statements of truths.
There are more people getting into Pauper lately, I've seen. It kind of has some buzz going on, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. As we discussed, since there isn't a real paper format listed, make sure you discuss with your play group which lists you are running and that all the commons are kosher with everybody. Back in the early printings, before they did commons, they did weird things where commons were printed at uncommon rarity and blah, 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 blah. You can find all that out on some internet page, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So that was our basically comprehensive guide to Pauper, everything that you could ever need to know. That's this week's episode of Dunk Tank, where we discussed Pauper and told you all about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget about the Dunk Tournament.
Thanks for tuning in, and as always, this is John.
That's Barry.
See you next week. With my snake fingers.